Oh, hey guys, check out us and our new what is this thing called? I don't build these things.
Background? I don't know what this thing's called, but I already don't like how I'm just a giant head up here cut off in the corner. We're gonna have to redo this. Whose idea was this? Jack? Jack, you're fired. Go to Greece for 2 weeks or something.
Um I think you did a great job. I think everything looks great. It's positive. We're all it's Memorial Day. We're supposed to be thankful and positive. Happy Memorial Day and also sad Memorial Day to all the ones that can't celebrate, obviously. But let's go ahead and pick some winners in their honor and enjoy some baseball because what goes better with Memorial Day than a good hot dog and some good home runs? Can y'all think of anything better? I mean, maybe some beer, but we don't talk about alcohol while we're betting because we are responsible. But how are we doing today? How are we doing? I got some sun this weekend. Obviously, y'all could tell a little bit. If you saw my skin, I look like an iguana that's halfway through shedding. Someone needs to come rub my belly to help me out. I'll take that back. No one needs to do that. But Kelly, how are we feeling? And then kick it to Chris because I got to know how we're doing on this beautiful Memorial Day.
I think this must be the pale white people sunburn show because I am also sunburnt from yesterday. It's not very much fun. I'm in a little bit of pain myself, so I will not be going to the beach today. But I'm looking forward to not doing anything until Game 7 tonight. That's what I just tweeted. It's true. I don't have a lot of contribution today in terms of the baseball slate. I can tell you where we've seen some sharp money maybe here and there, but I'm excited. At the end, I'll give you guys a Game 7 pick for tonight.
And Chris, how are we feeling today?
I'm doing good. I'm not as sunburned as you two are. I was mainly in a garage yesterday eating burgers and hot dogs with my buddy. But no, I'm feeling good. I mean, obviously I'm watching the Tigers right now. You're right. I mean, this is like a checkpoint in the baseball season. Like by Memorial Day, you're like, okay, you're kind of starting to figure out what teams are worth at this point. So obviously an exciting time to talk about baseball, which, in my opinion, there's never not an exciting time to talk about baseball as like the biggest baseball nerd maybe at this company. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to talking about some games.
Chris, I appreciate baseball nerds like you two at the company because it gives me the ability to kind of take the summer off, if you will.
That's fine. No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I have nothing to contribute other than I can tell you where the markets are and where they're going. I know I'm a terrible baseball fan, but I am going to be at the Yankees game on Friday night in New York. My first time in the Bronx, my first time at Yankee Stadium. So I will have a play out. I'll give out something with our friend of the show, if you will, Ariel Epstein. She's going to take me there. So maybe I'll be a baseball fan for one day.
You technically are a baseball fan every day. But we'll.
Oh, is that a Tico 10 reference?
That's neither here nor there, but that's okay. And that's shout out Tico because that's a great reference. All right, so let's get into some winners. Right now, there's 2-day games on. It's Brewers Cubs. That's game 1. I had that game. I have that game. It's going. But for some reason, not that it would really matter, my box is out on my TV, so I need to go ahead and get the old Fire Stick out and try to get.
You might want to go get that checked out, Megan, if your box is not working.
My box always works, girl. Sorry, Chris.
That's funny.
But I haven't heard that word or used that word for a long time, so I thought I'd just throw it out there.
The Brewers are up 1-0 right now, and I'm happy about it. Chris, unfortunately, your Tigers are down.
No, we tied it up.
You just did? You
Yeah.
tied it up? It was 1-1?
Yeah, Derek Hill hit a home run that went off a guy's glove, so we'll take it.
Shout out Derek Hill.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out whoever missed the tip of the glove. That's why you always use 2 hands, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Yes, Megan with the baseball fundamentals. I love that.
Run to first base and cover your glove. Don't be jerks. All right, so we are, as I said, we have 2 games going on right now. The next game up on the docket starts at 1:15. This is my time. That's Padres Cardinals. I do not have a play on that game. I have 3 straight bets. As I said, Brewers game 1. I have Phillies, Braves, and then I have my Making Money Mondays parlay, which everyone should go ahead and go bet. But do either one of y'all have a lean or an idea in this game? I just don't want to step in front of the Cardinals right now. I love the Padres, and I can't wait to see how they look once Tatis gets back in that lineup. But right now, the Cardinals are dangerous, and I'm not doing it. Kelly, do you have an opinion on this game? Do you have any sharp money going anywhere? And then Chris, give me your breakdown.
It's interesting here because, Megan, I would love to take the under, but I don't have enough guts to do so. This Cardinals team, if their bats get hot, we will be in deep shit. So I don't want to take the under here, but I'm confused. This Padres team has been really solid, and especially against the Cardinals. I'm surprised you're not wanting to step in front of them here, getting a little plus money here on the road.
I thought about it, but I couldn't. The Cardinals are really, really scary to me right now. Like extremely scary. It doesn't even matter who's on the mound because the bats have just been doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Everybody seems like they, as Chris said, it's Memorial Day. We're starting to see, is what teams are doing what, if it's kind of trending a certain way. And right now the Cardinals are trending in a great direction, but they're doing what they always do, and that's they hit well. But what did you like anything in this game, Chris? Or what I guess my question is, what kept you away from the Padres at this price? Is it still the same like with me step in front of the Cardinals?
Because I don't know shit about either one of these pitchers. That's the reason I had to stay away from. There's no data there at all. So I had to stay away from it. I think these are two really good teams. I think these are two playoff teams. And I think that they're going to be two teams that are going to be playing really meaningful baseball late into the year. But in terms of just gambling advice, there's not enough data there to suggest like leaning one way or the other. The Padres have been really good so far this season. The Tigers, I think, just fell behind 3-1. Sorry, little live action for you. But beyond that, I think the Padres are really good. I think Manny Machado right now is the front runner for NL MVP. But beyond that, just not enough data. So I had to stay away from it. I just don't know enough about either one of these starters to really lean one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just didn't want to touch that game. Kelly, I see a lot of people mentioning the Canes in the comment. Is that that NHL game you were talking to me about earlier?
Yes, the Rangers Canes play tonight, Game 7. I'll give out a little play at the end that I'll be tweeting out after the show, but I'll give you guys a sneak peek on where I'm going to be laying my money.
Okay, that'll be a little bit later. We'll go ahead and filter through this slate. Up next, we have Giants, Phillies, and I do have this game. I took the Phillies at plus 100, and I believe they're now plus 104. It's been bouncing around all morning. The Giants barely got through that series with the Reds. Last game of the series, I took the Giants on the run line, and thank God that I did because they ended up pulling it out. But it was really by the skin of their teeth there for a minute. And now they take a little short road trip over to Philadelphia. Phillies, though, just got swept by the Mets, and now they're back home. And I understand that it's a get-right spot with Logan Webb on the mound could prove difficult. However, these Philly bats, make sure I get these stats right, as far as being on the plate, 10th best team in batting in their batting average, 4th best slugging percentage, which obviously translates to the 8th most runs scored in the league. I definitely think that they could get it done here. I think that Webb and Gibson are both capable of throwing gems, but the Phillies at home, I don't want to say get right spot because I mean this is dog days of baseball. You're going to lose some, but coming off of being swept by the Mets and then coming home and getting to see this Giants team, I think it's a good spot for the Phillies. Chris, what do you think about this game?
It goes against my judgment, but I do kind of lean Phillies as well.
Okay.
I like Logan Webb a lot. I think Logan Webb, he reminds me a lot of Corey Kluber in his prime, just with that kind of sinker slider mix. Phillies lineup, small sample size, but pretty good numbers against Logan Webb. The problem with the Phillies, and I do lean towards them in this game, is I think the Phillies are the worst defensive team in baseball. Like that outfield defensively with like Castellanos and Schwarber is ridiculously bad. And yesterday, I mean, they killed themselves in the first inning with some of the plays they weren't able to make against the Mets. Gibson's numbers against the Giants are pretty solid. So I would lean Phillies, but that's I'm kind of on the edge with this one because I think that the Phillies are one of those teams where I think somewhere in them is like a 90-win baseball team, but I watch them all the time and they just kind of play an ugly brand of baseball, but they have hitters. I mean, you brought it up with the stats. Like they have a really good lineup. It's Dave Dombrowski, who used to be the GM for the Tigers. It's very reminiscent of the teams that he had when he was here, which is guys who can hit home runs, guys who have high batting averages, but he does not care at all about bullpens and he doesn't care at all about defense. And it's gotten him into trouble. But Gibson's numbers against this Giants lineup are pretty good, so I would lean that way most likely. Yeah.
And Kelly, is there any sharp money, or you look like you're disagreeing over there? What's happening?
No, I'm looking at the odds screen right now, trying to figure out what's everybody's obsession with this San Francisco team. Now, albeit I did live bet the Phillies. I took them plus 1.5 last night when Frank the Tank said that after the Mets in-game interview. Mind you, wasn't even watching the game. I just was on Twitter and I refreshed, and he's bitching about how these in-game interviews really mess with the Mets. And I go, fine. And I looked, and Barstool Sportsbook had the game live bet. And I said, all right, I may take a little flyer here on the plus 1.5 with the Phillies. They were down 3-1 at the time. And it worked out in my favor. They didn't get the win, though. And I have my concerns based on everything Chris was saying, just looking at this team on paper. I just don't understand the love this morning for the Giants. I don't think the Giants are a great ball club right now. I wouldn't say that they have done anything to really impress me, particularly like in the last month. They just haven't deserved to be a road favorite, if you will, at least not in my book. And again, I understand I don't follow a ton of baseball, but just looking at the market seems a little fishy. So if you want me to give a lean here, I'm going to be super square. I'm going to lean towards the over. You've got two pitchers that frankly are nothing to write home about. Plus both bullpens have just been absolutely atrocious. We'll see. Keep an eye on the temperature. Obviously, Megan will talk about this in another game, but it looks like the wind should be blowing out to right center field before this first pitch gets thrown. So that's where I'm leaning in this one. Again, super square, but I lean towards the over.
Yeah, speaking of wind, I was talking to Chris earlier. That game one with I took the under in with the Cubs and the Brewers. I didn't put it out. I took it personally because, as I said, why did it scare me? Because the wind was blowing out at 17 miles per hour. I didn't care who was pitching, whether I knew them or not. I was terrified of balls flying out, which is why I didn't put it out, but I did play it personally because 11.5 just seemed insane. But yeah, so up next, what I have in my Making Money Mondays parlay is the Astros and the A's, and I put the Astros in just to win. And I get a lot of people are probably going to take the A's with some value today, the plus the reverse run line plus the 1.5, whatever. But that's because Blackburn has just been a absolute beast. He has settled down. He has absolutely dominated the mound. But can I tell you who he does not dominate against? The Astros. Yeah. He hasn't seen them this year, and I have a little stat to read off for you guys. I have this guy that I love to follow on Twitter. Shout out Michael Schwab. He has great stats. So obviously he's had a decent year with a 1.70 ERA, 5 wins, no losses. However, against the Astros in his career, can you guess his ERA? Either one of you?
5.23. Kelly,
what do you think?
I'll take the under.
13.5.
Excuse me?
Yes, ma'am. So this guy, the Astros, have his number. Could he settle down? Could he be absolutely fire today? Sure. He definitely has the capability. But this isn't it's not like he's a new pitcher. I've seen him in the past. This year just seems a little different. Seems like he's settled down. He seems like he really has control over his stuff, but not against the Astros. And I'm really hoping that this doesn't come back and bite me in the butt, and he goes out and throws a no-no. But I do think that the Astros offense will get to Blackburn. Last 3 starts against the Stros, he's given up 15 runs. Apparently, they know how to hit this guy. So the Astros are in my parlay today, my Making Money Monday parlay. It's got some pretty good value today because it's, guess who I didn't add in there today? I didn't add the Dodgers. So that one is one that usually loves to eat up some of my value, but I like the Astros full game. Although that's nothing. Last time Blackburn faced the Astros, he made it 2 entire innings before giving up, I believe.
Was that this season, Megan?
No, he hasn't seen him this season.
That's kind of where I'm a little, and this is where Chris comes into play, because I don't fully understand pitchers, right? Like back in the day, I used to fade big name pitchers if there was a delay, right? Like a rain delay, or for whatever reason, it's particularly Verlander, if you take him out of his rhythm, right? I'm looking at Blackburn on paper going, how in the world are they plus 140? This guy's had a really solid season. Now, I get what you're saying historically, Megan, and I'm not rushing to back the Athletics. But this is where I guess I'm going to pivot to Chris, asking him, do you throw out those past stats out of the window and just look at recent form here?
With a pitcher like that who has not been around for very long, yes, I do. And in this game, I have Astros run line here as well. And Megan, I'm going to say something that's going to make you happy. And I'm not pandering just because you're my friend. I mean this.
I love a good pander, though.
No, but it's not. Let me stand up straight, sit up straight for a second. I think the Astros are going to win the World Series this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think the Houston Astros team is absolute dynamite. I think that pitching staff is so deep, so nice, so fun. And I know that like the Yankees look great and the Dodgers look great. Framer Valdez, despite not having great numbers against the A's, I don't think it matters. They win games with pitching. They win games with hitting. They have a deep staff. They have a really good lineup. That team is so scary. And again, we've talked about it before. I think over the last like several years, you put money on them all year, you're gonna win a lot of money back because of just how good they are. I mean, yesterday was one. I was watching that at my buddy's place, and the Mariners like just had them. And
I know they're gonna get swept.
They turned one of the clutchest double plays I've seen in a while, and like they are so sound defensively. I'm not gonna say, because of record, I can't say they're the best team in baseball. By the end of October, right now at Memorial Day, and opinions are subject to change, I think that's the best team in baseball.
I love it. Yeah. This is great news.
They're like the Golden State Warriors, where there's a part of me that I want to dislike, and yet every time I watch them, I'm like, this is kind of like baseball perfected. Like they just pitch
Jeremy
well.
Pena, huh? Great guy.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's not fair, though. That's not fair. Like, how do you lose like a generational shortstop and you just replace him the next day? Like, we can't get and I love Spencer Torkelson, but we can't get our number one pick like to like get on base at like a 300 clip, and they just keep rolling guys out. I think they're such an impressive team to watch, and obviously for this game I have them because I think the A's aren't very good, and I think Valdez is going to pitch well. But having watched them this year, they've impressed me more than any other team.
So I'm going to give you a quick standing ovation there.
Thank you, Megan. Yeah.
That makes me really excited. I just need, I need you to say it. I need like Carl. I need Tank. I need.
No, Megan, that's the thing. You don't want any of those guys saying it. Okay, like Chris says that it's completely different. I'm trying to figure out winner of the World Series right now. Astros plus 900 at the Barstool Sportsbook, and that kind of correlates. I just pulled up my buddy who's kind enough to share his power ratings with me, Megan. Last week he had them at 11th. This week he has them at 9th, and I'm going, I don't see it. This team should have got swept by the Mariners. Chris nailed it. Maybe he's seen a lot more than I'm seeing, but I wouldn't say there's going to be a ton of value with this team left, right? At 9-1, I think those are probably the best odds you're going to get. So if you like it, you got to bet them now. I mean, especially before this series, I think they should be able to sweep this series. This is an Oakland team.
Yeah.
Obviously, being in Vegas, being in Florida, being all over the place all the time, I still get good information. And the A's have already picked out their stadium location in Las Vegas. So I think this team is kind of already cashed it in. I've got their season win total under. Megan, yes, ma'am.
I would like to say someone said that I gave the kiss of death. I didn't. You know why? Because I've taken emotional hedges to put the juju into the atmosphere. For whatever I say, it counteracts. So technically, I win either way. So it doesn't matter 7 figures. I'm about to have 7 figures after this baseball season. Just kidding. Probably not. I'll probably end up like
probably.
Okay, so there we go. Astros. It is Astros to win the World Series. That was the pick, right? Right. Okay.
Right now, yes.
All right. I have up next. Don't have anything in this game. I think you might have mentioned it, Chris. Marlins, Rockies. Were you interested in something here?
I was. That's a tough bet because of Colorado, but we've discussed it on here before. I really like the Marlins pitching staff. I think they have some legitimately good arms. Sandy Alcantara, I think, is one of the 10 best pitchers in baseball right now. And now he's not pitching tonight, but you have Pablo Lopez, who's pitched really well this season. Such a tough bet. I do think the Rockies have kind of slammed back down to earth. They were hot in April. You have some guys, when you look at the OPS pluses, which is obviously a statistic that adjusts things based on, the park that you're playing in. A lot of those guys have struggled. I mean, Chris Bryant has not been good for them, obviously some injury issues. So I feel like this is an instance where you could probably get a pretty good bargain by actually, even though it's Colorado, by taking the under and potentially taking Marlins run line, because I think that they're capable of shutting down that lineup right now. Yeah.
I took a ton of Colorado unders last year and the year before that, especially first fives, because the bookmakers overvalued them so much. But I feel like they've been giving all the juice balls to Colorado or something this year, or at least the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I don't know, Megan. Plus, you're getting that wind coming out of the west, northwest, almost 15 miles an hour right now.
I'm telling you, that's what made like my baseball like entrance, if you will. Like I was playing Coors first five under 5.5 like every single day because it was plus money. It was like literally they were giving me 2 extra runs compared to any other ballpark. And for a long time, I was cashing those tickets. And then this year, like I've been getting fucking murdered on unders. So I've just been avoiding Coors Field entirely. I don't know what's going on in Colorado, but apparently the wind has picked up and the balls have all gained wings, apparently. But you're looking at the under here, Chris, you said still?
For this one, it's a risky bet, but I kind of like it because I like the Marlins pitching staff quite a bit. Yeah.
I like the Marlins pitching staff too. I kind of have a thing for Lopez. I was leaning towards playing that game and decided not to just because I didn't want to take him on the run line because why? It's in Colorado and Colorado can just be so freaking weird.
Yeah.
But Kelly, do you have anything on this game? Do you have any leans on which way the sharp money is going? Not leans, but do you have any any statistics?
I've got nothing other than money's coming in. It looks like early money came in on Colorado. I'm not sitting here advocating to lay minus 145 or higher on the road with this Marlins team, whether Chris likes the pitching staff or not. This is still a really solid Rockies squad, not on the road, but at least at home. Slight lean towards the Rockies here. I'm not going to be getting to the window with this team, though.
Okay, so Chris has a slight lean to the Marlins run line or just money line? Run line?
I had run line.
Run line and the under 10.5 over at Coors Field. And Kelly's looking at, well, man, these Rockies at home. And I'm looking at, no, the fuck, thank you. Don't want anything to do with it. Up next, we have Royals Guardians. I don't have anything on this game. I didn't want to play Plesac or is it Heasley? Heasley? Is that right? Heasley for the Royals? He is the lead?
You got it.
Easily. That's easily the hardest word I've had to say today. I don't have any plays on that one. Do y'all have any advice for the good folks out in the comment section?
I got nothing because I've liked Zach Plesac for a long time, but he's had a bad year. In his last outing, I think he gave up 7 runs. So I have a hard time I would typically kind of bet the under here, but he's struggled so much that this is a stay away.
I didn't expect him to struggle nearly that much. He's just been an awful person to back this year. It's just like, anytime you think that you're going to get a good game from Plesac, it goes the exact opposite way.
I wonder if there's an injury there because the Guardians do such a great job of developing starting pitchers, and having watched his starts this year, pitch data is not very good. The stuff doesn't look as explosive. So I think he's going to be one of those pitchers you got to stay away from because while the stuff is fine, it's not as good as it was the last few years.
Yeah, Megan, we're seeing some reverse line movement here on the Royals. Somebody likes him. I am not that somebody with Jonathan Heasley. Has a terrible ERA, but again, reverse line movement's coming in. That's all I can tell you is that somebody is betting this team. They opened minus 165. Down in the high 140s at the Barstool Sportsbook. Maybe Kansas City can go get a road win.
Maybe somebody out there is realizing, like we are, that Zach Plesac hasn't been.
The problem is Kansas City's been trash too.
Yeah,
I mean,
their offense stinks.
Yeah, that's my concern here is while looking at it just from an on-paper perspective, Kansas City has been not impressive. The Guardians haven't been impressive either. Particularly even at home, you would think that they would be playing better there. They have won 6 of their last 8 versus Kansas City at home, but that doesn't say much to me outside of just a nominal statistic there.
Right, last question before we move on, Chris, because I know how much you love pitching and pitchers. Zach Plesac's strikeout prop, over or under 3.5? I'm not going to tell you the juice on it, but what are you thinking here?
3.5, I'm taking the over.
The over?
That's a really low number, and he does miss a fair amount of bats. I mean, if he goes 4 or 5 innings, he's gonna get 3.5. And you have a Royals lineup that misses a lot of pitches. I mean, so I would take the over for strikeouts. I'm not saying he's gonna deal, but 3.5 seems pretty low.
I hear you. You know what, Chris? I don't usually pay this type of juice, but I'll do it right here today just for you.
Now, at the same time,
what's the over, Megan? What is the juice?
3.5 minus 155.
When I was at HQ, you texted me being like, "Should I bet against the White Sox with Johnny Cueto on the mound?" And I'm like, "Of course you should. Johnny Cueto is like 1,000,000 years old, and
Cueto's the journeyman of the decade. Dude has been killing it.
He threw 6 scoreless, and I texted him like, Cueto turned the clock back 8 years. I'm sorry. That was
You never need to be sorry. It's so funny that I read that text. I was like, first off, I never want Chris to ever apologize to me again. I felt dirty having you apologize to me.
Why?
Because you're so
bad data.
You're so sweet and so kind. I don't want any apologies from you. I want apologies from people like Brandon Walker.
There you go, which you'll never get. So good luck with that, Megan.
Yeah, no.
I love Brandon, but we're very incomparable people, I feel like, in terms of personalities and just the way we handle ourselves. I love B-Walk, for the record. He's been so nice.
I love him. Hopefully he doesn't come after me. Brandon, for the record, I love you too. Just like in a brother-sister way, to where like I also hate you. Okay, up next, we have Rays, Rangers. This is another one in my parlay. Rays. Tell me how to say his name again. Rasmussen, right?
Rasmussen. Yeah. The last time you did it, you got it right.
I added 2 extra syllables there. I got nervous. I
have some confidence in it. You got it. Rasmussen. Yeah.
I get nervous. But the reason why I am
Me too. You're good. Yeah.
the Rays today is because of the pitching matchup. I think that he has just been absolutely dominant, whereas Otto has been lit the fuck up all month long. I will give credit, little tip of the hat to the Rangers. I do feel like they're playing a little bit above their heads. But I think this Rays team, they've been the more consistent team. They've been the better team. And I like Rasmussen.
Rasmussen.
I don't have any confidence in names, man. I'm so bad. What's his first name? What's his first name? What?
Drew.
I'll call him Drew. Drew has.
I only know because it's open on my screen. Don't think I didn't pull that out of my ass any other way.
Sometimes I can do that, but he's been absolutely fantastic. This Rays team, I think will be able to get it done. As I said, that they've been consistent, and I wanted to throw somebody in my parlay that wouldn't eat up all of the juice, and so the Rays were minus 139 when I put them in there this morning. They are now minus 143 on the money line. But it's better than minus 360 with the Dodgers. No, thank you. I like the Rays here. Chris, what do you think? And then Kelly, let me know where the money's going. You here? Hello?
Hi, Harry. Did we lose Chris?
No, he's coming.
Am I in now?
Yes, you're here, I think. You're here.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. I got fucking 1998 AOL dial-up internet here. But we're talking about the Rays, right?
Yes.
I would lean Rays here, and I mean this as a compliment, just as out of pure jealousy. I hate the Rays. I hate the fact that the Rays just find guys who are like, selling paint a year ago, and now they're like throwing 100 like on the mound. And Rasmussen is another prime example of that. They just do a great job of developing pitchers. They trade their best players every year, and you think they're crazy. And really, I've been kind of, I'm not going to say anti because I don't think about them that much, but I don't think the Rangers model is going to work. Like, I think the offseason that they had, I was not crazy about it. I understand you signed 2 really good players, and even though Semion's been awful, the Rays just keep reloading, and they keep doing their thing, and they keep pitching well, and they develop hitters and pitchers really well. So, and Rasmussen's been awesome. So I would lean towards, let's see this. Let me double check. Okay. This is at Globe Life. So I'd at least lean Rays money line with it being,
all I need him to do is win. That's all.
With a road game like that. It's a little bit tougher to bet run line, but I would lean money line for the Rays. Yeah.
I did accidentally skip because they were off the board earlier whenever I was doing my little notes. The third leg of my parlay, well, technically the second leg of my parlay, is the Mets money line. The Mets are going up against the Nats, which I kind of feel like these two teams are kind of going in opposite directions right now. Obviously, the Mets have been uber duper hot. They've been scoring 7.7 runs in their last like 6 games. They've just been putting up crooked numbers left and right, whereas the Nats, they just haven't. And I really think that this is a good spot. I don't think Fetty's a good pitcher either. That's just maybe a hot take by me. I think that the Mets are going to be able to get to him relatively easily. So the parlay today, for all of you in the comments, are like, oh, I like the Mets run line, or I like the Rays, but I didn't want to pay that price. You don't have to, because you can go bet my parlay, which is the Astros money line, the Rays money line, and the Mets money line. It's some great value. You got to opt in and bet it. If it hits, obviously you get your money back. If it doesn't, but you have 1 or 2 legs hit, then you get the $10 back per leg that wins. So go ahead, pretty much free money, $25. That's all you got to bet. And there we go. Boom. That's your parlay for the day. What are your thoughts on the Mets today, Kel?
You mentioned how hot the Mets have been. Aren't they one of the most injured teams in baseball? That's just my concern here.
In terms of pitching, they are, but the offense is relatively healthy. Now, they seem more injured than they are because their 2 best pitchers are out.
Okay.
But they scoring a ton of runs. And so
and then I just pulled up the injury report, and it's like 15 days here, 60 days here, 30 days here. It just seems like they're just really banged up. But you're right. When you're missing Scherzer and DeGrom, it's going to look worse than it is. This is a Nats team that I don't want to back, especially on the road, right? I think they've only won like 3 of their last 15 on the road. That's a gross number. Yeah. But I will say that every once in a while, this team, I'll see a final score and I'm like, oh, that's a little surprising. I think the whole world's going to be on the Mets, but rightfully so.
Yeah.
Parlay, we'll get some value. I think right now the parlay over at the Barstool Sportsbook, you can bet with me, and it's plus 311. I was born, fun fact, at 311 in the afternoon.
There you go.
Maybe I'll go back and retake it. Do it again. Boom. Wager again. I'm wasting money, but making it at the same time, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to say I'm wasting it because that parlay will hit today. Positive vibes only. All right, Chris, what do you think of the Mets?
I love them. I like this team a whole lot. I'm rooting for them, and part of it is like I just want Clem to be happy. I mean, it's like one of the big things. Like it's like one of my big things.
How nice of you! I as a bettor, I give a fuck about nobody's happiness but my own.
Yeah, but
that's why Chris is the best, man. Chris,
I think he's so sweet. I really do, because I'm like, wait, what? Like, I love Megan. I want Megan to win all of her bets that I'm not on the opposite side of. But
I and also a big, honestly, outside of just wanting to see Clem happy, the Nationals are terrible. They're really, really bad. And you brought up Fetty's numbers, and his pitch data is not very good. His career FIP is in the 5s. Does miss a fair amount of bats, but it just, I think that Mets lineup, even without DeGrom and Scherzer on the staff right now, it's a buzzsaw. I mean, you got to go through Lindor and Alonso and Canna and Starling Marte, who I think is one of the most underrated players in baseball.
Lindor is on my shit list. I needed him to get a hit last night. I had a parlay put together for about plus 2,000, and I needed Lindor to just simply get a hit. And guess who did not?
I have a weird thing with him, though, because as a Tigers fan, I have like flashbacks to him hitting 700 against us for like 8 years. So it's hard for me to like be like, oh, he's bad. But really,
he's not bad. He's not bad. I'm just so mad. I was so angry. I'm like, I woke up and I look and I'm like www, where's the L? And then I'm like, really?
And you know what's weird is he's been hot too. That's what he's having like a legitimately like good season. Obviously, ballpark factor and OPSs are way down because of the dead ball. But no, I like this team a lot, and I think what Showalter has going there, I'm leaning them for a lot of games just because I think they have. We talk about positive vibes. That's a team to me that just has positive vibes right now. I think they just keep rolling. Yeah,
positive vibes only. Okay, last one on my card. I don't know if y'all have anything else y'all would like to talk about. But last one on my card is going to be the Braves and the Diamondbacks. You have Gallen, who has been proven to be a great guy on the mound.
Yeah.
And, but you know what I love more than pitchers with glasses? I love pitchers fighting for a starting rotational spot. And that's what my boy, his name is Strider, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? He's fighting for a rotational spot right now. And when guys go in with that type of mindset where, hey, I want to, be an active pitcher on this roster instead of just sit my ass on the wood in the bullpen, just waiting. I love narratives like this. Not to mention the Diamondbacks, though they've been better at the dish, just haven't been great offensively. They've lost 5 out of the last 7 home games, 10 of the last 15 overall. I don't know, man. It's just we're the home of the free and the Braves. So give them to me. I'll take. Is that even cheesy for you, Chris? Come on.
I mean, I'm the biggest fan of puns ever, and even that was like,
come on, man.
That was wrong.
But I'm taking the Braves. Diamondbacks. That obviously they can steal a game for me, and from me. But and I do like Gallen, but I just think that this is a spot where I like that the kid Strider. I think the grown man Strider. I think he's going to want that spot. And it's just this is a narrative that I enjoy betting on, much like pitchers making their major league debuts. I usually love betting on those too. I don't know. I just think I'm dead. I just think that Strider's going to go out and really leave it out on the mound, if you will. What are your thoughts on this take, Kelly? Because I can feel your plus EV, like you're
no, not at all. I don't have a big opinion here. Wind's blowing out right now, 14 miles an hour, but the game doesn't go off for quite a while. That being said, I like the over. I'm surprised. I'm looking at the ticket count right now on the odds screen. I'm surprised we're not seeing just all the money pouring in on the over.
The Tigers tied it up, Chris?
Yeah, 3-3, and they got a runner on second.
Come on, man.
Best offensive game they've played in the last,
Sorry to interrupt, Kelly.
I didn't have much to say. I lean the over. Both these teams have been over teams as of late. It seems super square with the wind blown out as well. But you kind of nailed it. I think both of these pitchers are a little sus. So I'll take the over 8.5.
So Kelly's taking the over. Chris, what do you think about my narrative theory?
I agree with it. I stayed away from this game because the Braves have looked weird all season to me. I think that this team they are way better than how they've played. I love this offense. I love it, like the lineup in general. And I liked some of their pitchers. But they're kind of like the reverse Mets, where it's like I think the Mets are quite good and they're playing quite good. I think the Braves have like an 8-game winning streak somewhere like in there, but they're just not playing particularly well. That's why I stayed away. But it wouldn't shock me. Like the White Sox are the same way, where I know in the next week they're going to put up a 10 spot on somebody, and that could easily be tonight because there's too many talented players in that lineup right now for me to think that this is a team that's going to continue to struggle. But for an isolated like single game, it's a stay away. But I do like your logic. Your logic makes a lot of sense because I do think that they're way better than how they've looked.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I would see if there's anything else on the slate, but for some reason my thing's not loading except for the live. Oh wait, just kidding. Just came back up. Okay, yeah. Only thing left besides that game is Pirates Dodgers, which I did see someone in the comments mention that he liked the Pirates plus the 295. Any team over the 3 he's as far as juice is concerned, he's been fading, which I kind of found that to be a little interesting. I mean, why not go $5 or $10 on a team where you can get plus 295?
Sure.
Will I be doing it? No, I won't. But what are y'all's thoughts on this Dodgers Pirates game? I mean, obviously Walker Buehler is that dude. He could easily go out there, hold this Pirates team to an absolute goose egg, and then all of a sudden you have every single Dodger come up and just mash one out of the park. I'm not touching it though. I've had enough of the Dodgers for right now. They've kind of made me angry. So I'm gonna stay away from this. Chris, tell us what you think. Then kick it to Kelly. And Kelly, after you're done giving us your info, I want you to give us a pick for that hockey game.
You're right. Where the Dodgers, I think, have actually cost me a fair amount of money this year, and yet I love Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler has the most fuck you energy of any pitcher like in baseball. I just love watching. He just pumps fastballs by guys. I think he's so much fun to watch. And I have a hard time betting against him because, and Urias is the same way, but it's even more so with Buehler. He wins games. Like, I know that's in terms of, pitching, like analytics, that's not as big of a deal as it used to be, but he's won a ton of games. He has pretty good numbers against this Pirates lineup. I would lean money or run line there for the Dodgers, but I also understand like the principle of betting the Pirates right now is probably really good money, and you could win a lot back. But as somebody who's just like a huge pitching guy, I love watching him pitch, and I think I always assume he's going to deal just because I love his stuff on the mound. So yeah, I lean towards that, and I probably will have them run line before the end of the day, but it's kind of it's a little bit shaky.
All right, Kelly, what are you thinking about this? I know you're not laying 360 with anybody.
No, you're right. I'm actually trying to decide. So right now, the Barstool Sportsbook has Game 7 hockey, obviously, under 5. The rest of the market's at 5.5, but it's super juiced. I think we're going to start to see the rest of the market head towards 5. So I'm going to tweet out this play a little bit sooner than later because I always want you guys to get the best of the number. I like this under 5.5 goals in Game 7. I think we see a much tighter defense from both teams. Now, I know that not everybody wants to hear this and that the under does correlate with the Canes win. I would love to see Rangers be able to pull this series out. I would love to bet the Rangers tonight, but the home road dichotomy for this Canes team is just gross. I almost can't bet against them right now at home, even though I do think you're laying a little bit of a steep price. So I'm going to take the under here and hope that the Rangers can win 2-1. I want to see an ugly, boring game, not a lot of power plays, not a lot of penalties. Chris is cheering, so that must mean something good for the Tigers.
Tigers just went up 4-3.
Yeah, there we go.
Holy shit. Oh.
He muted himself. He didn't want to be rude.
No, I actually didn't mute myself. I just said it quietly. I didn't say that.
There you go.
This is the sweetest. And you got a runner on first and third, huh?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I feel like I'm watching the '98 Yankees with this offense coming alive all of a sudden. Yeah. Real quick, I gotta mention somebody in the comments asked about French Open parlays, and as I outside of Hubs, probably the biggest tennis person at this company, believe it or not, as a former.
I didn't know you were a tennis guy.
As a former first team All-State tennis player.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's a huge deal. Dude, Rafa French Open, take the money. He's 109. He's 109-3 career at the French Open, and he's got Djokovic coming up next. And Djokovic beat him last year. There's a revenge game there. Rafa's going to beat him. And he's going to win the French Open again. So just a little tennis info for you. Yeah.
What are we laying with Rafa to win the whole thing?
I'd have to double check. I was just
let me pull that up. I don't know. That's where tennis and stuff like that really gets me. I hate laying these big juice prices. Let's see. Upcoming. Let's see. Rafael Nadal is plus 180. Novak Djokovic is minus 215. So little pricey there. I wonder if at the Barstool Sportsbook, yeah, you sure can. Click more bets. You can lay all sorts of different spreads based on sets. You can lay 1.5 with Novak minus 114 if you're a little risk averse like I am.
And like me, I will not be playing any plays because I feel like a dog when I watch tennis. No offense, Chris. I just can't do it. But I do respect it very, very much. And I love you and I love both of you. And I hope y'all have a great day, a winning day. Make sure y'all go bet my parlay. Chris, I hope your Tigers win. And I hope the total stays under. And Kelly, I hope that all of your bets hit. Wait, what are you taking in the game tonight?
I'm taking the under 5. I'll be under 5. I'm hoping for a 2-1 finish, no sweat. And depending on how things pan out in the next hour or so, I might even take the first period under 1.5. I haven't quite decided if I want to lay that kind of juice right now, though.
Will you be tweeting it out?
I'm tweeting it out right as we speak.
Boom. Okay, so we're going to have Kelly tweet out her picks. Chris, you should just start tweeting out your picks too. Yeah,
I'll have to. I don't know if I've ever done it. You're right. I should.
You might as well. You can start putting them under the Money Shots account. You can do whatever your little heart desires. I just hope you win. I hope we all win. Y'all have a great Monday. See you back here on Wednesday to talk NBA. And then we'll got to figure out what else we're doing after these finals. So if y'all have any ideas, just hit up the DMs. We love you guys.